guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm doing a tag video. I don't do many tag videos, but I feel like this is one that I should do because it's one that everybody does this time of year, and that is the end of the year book tag, which I believe Ariel Bissett created this originally, but I feel like everybody does this tag in like November, December, where you just kind of go over like how your year was with reading, if you achieved your goals, and moving into the next year, what you would like to accomplish as far as reading goes in your life. So I will leave the original video linked down below if you would like to check it out, but I believe it's only, I think, 6 questions, so it's a fairly quick one, but it gives you a good, like, kind of sense of where you are with your reading goals for the year and things you want to work on for next year. So just moving right into the questions, the very first question is, are there any books that you started this year that you still need to finish? And I'm a pretty ruthless DNFer when it comes to books that I'm just not feeling at the time, and I tend to DNF books and just like move on with my life. So I can't, the only book that is coming to mind is The Queens of Innisleer, because I started that with a buddy read and I got halfway through it before I DNF'd it, which is pretty far for a book that size. But I already made the decision to sell it or donate it. It's in my unhaul. You're getting an unhaul video very soon. So I don't think I have plans on finishing that. The only other one coming to mind is Ancillary Justice, which is an adult sci-fi book that I did start. I got like 3/4 of the way through it and felt like I wasn't doing it justice because while I thought that it was written really well and it was like a very well scripted story, I wasn't in the mood for like political sci-fi at that time, so I feel like I wasn't going to appreciate it in the time period that I was reading it. But will I finish it this year? Probably not. I'm not really seeing myself getting into that mindset in the next month and a half, so I don't think I really have anything that I started that I want to finish like this year specifically. Yeah. Question number 2 is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into at the end of the year? And I kind of thrillered myself out in October, so I don't have any like leftover Halloween books that are just like really calling my name. I didn't really read all the ones that I was planning on getting to, but that was just because life events happened in October. So the only book that I have that I definitely want to read in November is called Come November, because I mean, hello, this is set in November, and I feel like it would be important to read this time of year because it's not quite getting into like seasonal festive holiday books yet, but it's a book that I would like to get to in transitioning into that though. Question 3 is there a new release that you were still waiting for? And for me personally, I think that a lot of the really big releases that I was looking forward to this year have already come out. Generally, really big releases come in spring and early fall, and I feel like we already got most of those. Let's be honest, Sarah J. Maas's books came out and I already read them, so that's kind of the end of my huge release that I look forward to every year list. The only book that I'm thinking of that is going to be pretty big, I think, is 5 Feet Apart, and I still want to get and read that because the movie trailer just dropped for that and it looks very well done. So I guess that is the only release that I'm still technically waiting for. Question number 4 is, what are 3 books that you want to read before the end of the year? Obviously I want to read 5 Feet Apart. Like I said, that is still a book that I am anticipating and plan on reading this year. The other 2 that I really want to get to this year are just arcs that I have been like highly anticipating, and I was waiting for like a calmer reading time of my life, like that ever happens, to get to them. But that is A Curse So Dark and Lonely, but I really want to get to this. And I also have Warrior of the Wild by Trisha Levenseller to get to, and this one's calling to me. It's shorter, so I feel like it's less of a task to sit down and read it. But I love me a good Viking story, and I've been highly anticipating both of these. So these 2 plus 5 Feet Apart, I guess, are the 3 books I shall talk about. There's so many books I want to read. It's very hard to narrow it down to 3, but I'll go with those 3. Question 5 is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? Now, I have a book in mind for the answer of this question, but honestly, I still am thinking that my top read of 2018 is The Poppy War. And that's a pretty high precedent to surpass in my mind. But I did recently just pick up a copy of The Astonishing Color of After, and I know that this has made a ton of people's top list of 2018, or this is their favorite book of 2018. So I have high hopes for this, but will it be my top book? I don't know. And the last question is, have you already started making reading plans for 2019? And yes, and I kind of am covering a lot of different things here that I just wanted to briefly mention. So next year, as an overall goal, I think I'm going to set my Goodreads goal at 150 or 200. I haven't decided yet. I have set my Goodreads goal at 100 books every single year since like 2012 or something like that, and I've hit it every year. It's either been a really close call at the end of the year whether I'm gonna make it or not, and I like jam a whole bunch of books in December, or I surpass it by a lot. And this year, I surpassed it by a lot. Like, I hit that 100 books back in September, I think, so I'm easily going to hit 150 books this year. So I'm gonna set it at 150 or 200. I haven't decided yet. So that's like an overall number goal. As far as like types of books or books that I'm looking forward to or reading plans in general, I want to do a lot more buddy reads because I feel like buddy reads kind of pushes me out of my comfort zone, and I generally read books that I wouldn't have otherwise picked up. And I feel like I take a lot more away from the reading experience and from the book itself because I get a lot of different people's like opinions about different things that I might not have thought of when I was reading by myself. So I want to do more buddy reads. I want to read more like notable fiction. Like, I feel like there are a ton of titles that come out every year that hit like the Goodreads list, and I haven't read any of them, or books that have won tons of awards or nominated for a lot of awards that I haven't even heard of. So I think I want to be more present in like literary fiction along with adult fantasy. I'm delving more into adult fantasy this winter, so that's obviously a reading goal because winter extends into 2019. So more literary fiction, more fantasy. The only like specific titles that I can think of that I plan on reading is obviously like The Wicked King, Sarah J. Maas's new adult series. I think that's coming out next year. I'm kind of anticipating that being bumped though. To be honest, that's kind of it. That's all I've really paid attention to for like huge releases. And I think that kind of wraps up this tag. I'm terrible at doing tags. I never tag people specifically, and I tend to also just kind of do tags. Like, I don't get tagged to do it. I'm just like, oh, that looks fun. I'm gonna film that by myself. So I'm not tagging anybody specifically, but I'm opening the door to anybody who wants to film this as well. I will leave the original video linked down below, along with the questions in the description if you would like to do it, if you feel the need. And that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one.